FBCKids. It's Miss Maggie here with your Sunday lesson. We're working on continuing our lesson with Moses. And this chapter is called Let My People Go. We're continuing learning through the Laugh and Learn Kids Bible, or Bible for Kids. And I'm feeling blessed to have you here with me, and I hope you feel the same. Let's get into it. Let my people go. That's what Moses said as he stood in front of Pharaoh. He was probably very nervous. He didn't want to be in Egypt. He wanted to be back home in the desert with his sheep and his wife and his kids. But there he was, standing in front of Pharaoh, saying exactly what God had told him to say. Let my people go. And do you know what Pharaoh said? He said, no. Rats. Okay, it was time for the next trick with that scary stick snake. So Moses threw down his walking stick and boom! Let my people go, he said. And Pharaoh said, no. Well, double rats. That's when God told Moses it was time to do something even more powerful than a stick snake. So he began to send plagues, one at a time, to show Pharaoh just how powerful he was. A plague is a really bad thing, like bugs or a bad rash or a really big storm, stuff you don't want to happen in your town. God told Moses to dip his walking stick into the river in Egypt called the Nile. When his stick touched the river, all of the water turned to blood. Let my people go, Moses said once again, and Pharaoh said, nope. Then God said to Moses, hold up your stick. We're going to make some frogs. And boom, frogs. Millions of them. Everywhere. In the fields, in their beds, in their houses, everywhere. Let my people go, Moses said, trying not to step on a frog probably. And Pharaoh said, no. Next, God sent gnats, tiny little bugs that got everywhere. Then flies. Zillions of flies, then a sickness that killed all the farm animals. Next, all the Egyptians got sores on their skin, itchy, ouchy sores all over. There was hail. Big balls of ice fell from the sky and knocked down all the corn and wheat and rice plants. And then locusts, big bugs that looked like grasshoppers, and ate all the crops that weren't killed by the hail. Each time Pharaoh said no, these plagues, the frogs and flies and locusts and hail, weren't enough, so God turned out the lights. Egypt actually went dark. It was the middle of the night, in the middle of the day. The Egyptians couldn't see anything. Let my people go, Moses said to Pharaoh. At least he thought he was talking to Pharaoh because it was so dark it was hard to tell. But in the middle of the darkness, a voice said, no. Finally, God knew exactly what he would do to change Pharaoh's mind. God told Moses it was time for the Egyptians to know how powerful he was. I am going to send an angel who will kill all the oldest sons of the Egyptians, he said, and then Pharaoh will let my people go. Moses thought hard about this terrible thing. How will the angel know which sons are the children of Israel? Moses asked. God gave Moses a sign. Each Israelite family was to prepare a lamb for a special meal, and then take some blood of that lamb and put it over the door of their house. When the angel saw the blood of the lamb over the door, the angel would pass over that house. Moses and the Israelites were unsure, but they followed God's direction. They put the blood of the lamb over their doors. They ate the special meal, which is now called Passover. They did everything just the way God had said, and they went to bed. But they didn't get much sleep. That night the angel passed through all the streets of Egypt, and in the morning all the oldest sons of the Egyptians were dead. The Egyptian moms and dads cried and cried. Even Pharaoh cried because his son died too. It was terrible. When he was done crying, Pharaoh called for Moses. He said, "Go. I'm letting your people go." God showed the Egyptians just how powerful he was. He showed the children of Israel that he heard their cries and that he would keep the promise he had made to their father Abraham. But that's not all. God also gave a hint about his third promise, the blessing for the whole world. Someday all of God's children would be saved from death. All it would take would be the blood of a very, very special lamb. Here are some fun facts about the Passover meal shared to remember this important event that consists of 6 symbolic items, and I've got pictures of each. Mar and chazrit, bitter herbs and romaine lettuce representing the bitterness of slavery in Egypt. Charosis is a sweet paste of fruit and nuts representing the mortar used by the slaves to build in Egypt. Okay, carpus, a vegetable such as celery symbolizing hope dipped in salt water to represent the tears shed by the Israelites. Okay, and then there's zeroa, a roasted lamb representing the sacrifice. And then they had biza, a roasted egg, which is a symbol of life. And those are our 6 symbolic foods for Passover meal. Okay, we're gonna finish up next week with the 10 Commandments. So let's go ahead and pray. Dear God, thank you for always protecting us by your great power. Amen. Amen. Happy Sunday.
Bye.